Welcome back to Unlimited Recaps. Today we'll be diving into a thriller mystery film from 1997 titled The Game. The movie begins a businessman named Nicholas Van Orton resides alone in a huge estate outside of San Francisco. Although he has achieved great success, his family life has suffered as a result of it. He is bored with his life, lonely and divorced when the movie opens. The only surviving family of Nicholas is his brother Conrad, but the two haven't seen each other in 2 years and have a tense relationship. Nicholas finds out one morning that Conrad has been attempting to set up a meeting with him for several days. Conrad unexpectedly appears at a restaurant that afternoon and says he is coming to wish Nicholas a happy birthday. Nicholas receives yet another surprise when Conrad gives him a peculiar gift, a coupon for an odd game that is being sold by a business named Cruz. At first, Nicholas believes Conrad is making a crude joke about him, but after being persuaded by his younger brother, he agrees to go to the Cruz office at least once this week. After nearly forgetting about the voucher, Nicholas shows up at an office building the following day for a meeting. It so happens that the Cruz office is situated in this exact location. Jim, one of the staff members, greets him as soon as he enters. Jim gives Nicholas a tour of the workplace and explains the pre-game procedures, but he withholds information on the nature of the game itself. Although Nicholas is irritated that his questions aren't being addressed, he is nevertheless drawn to the game by its mystery. He thus consents to play even though he has no idea what the game is about. One of the pre-game procedures is to complete a 4-hour personality test. When Nicholas makes time in his schedule to complete it, he is bombarded with odd inquiries such as whether he has ever injured a little animal. He is informed that, should he be chosen for the game, he will receive a call following an arduous and protracted exam. The following day, he spends time with his tennis club friends and listens to them discuss Cruz. It comes out that after participating in the Cruz game, both of his pals would like to do it again. When Nicholas asks what the precise nature of the game is, not even his pals can respond. He receives a call from Cruz later in the meeting informing him that his application has been denied. Nicholas is now so eager to play the game that he finds the news disappointing. He decides to bring home a life-size clown doll that he finds in the turnaround on his nighttime trip home. In the process of trying to figure out who put it outside, he discovers a key stuck to the clown's tongue. The key, oddly enough, bears the Cruz logo, indicating that the game has already begun in spite of the phone call he received. Nicholas is shocked to hear someone directly ask him if he intends to spend the entire evening dissecting the clown doll as he continues to examine it. He is shocked to learn that the voice is that of his TV's newscaster. The distinction between Nicholas's real world and the bizarre experience of Cruz is becoming increasingly hazy at this point in the game. The game's rules are explained by the newscaster, who also tells Nicholas that he will find different objects during the game, such as the key that is linked to the clown's tongue, and that he must retain it until the end. When Nicholas discovers a concealed camera within the clown, this frightening intrusion indicates that the game is already in progress and that he is under constant observation. He breaks the clown's neck and goes to bed, expressing his frustration and distress at this violation of privacy. But he is unwittingly slipping more into the psychological trap of the game. Nicholas starts to notice little, apparently random problems the following day. Clown imagery appears all around him, suggesting that the game is somewhat altering his environment. When his briefcase breaks down and he loses a significant business contract, these small disruptions become more severe, making him feel more anxious and irritated. His sense of powerlessness is increased when the Cruz key, which was meant to assist him, turns out to be ineffective. Nicholas meets Christine, a waitress, at dinner. After she spills wine on him, she gets fired. Before Nicholas finds out that she is following him and has left a mysterious message on his bill, the incident appears to be an unfortunate accident. With his curiosity piqued, he follows her and finds himself in a dark alley with a sick man. The abrupt presence of a police car gives the impression that the situation is planned, even though Christine's persistence on aiding the man seems random. When they get to the hospital, the environment gets even more bizarre, with odd happenings that amplify Nicholas's increasing perception that the game is all around him and is changing reality in ways he can neither foresee nor control. Christine and Nicholas are the only ones in the parking lot when the lights abruptly go out and then come back on. Nicholas discovers that this is a feature of the game as well. The two discover a malfunctioning elevator, which Nicholas fixes with the Cruz key to make it function again. Then he informs Christine about the game he joined, which she interprets as an affluent person's saddest pastime. The two discover they are in the Cruz building once they manage to exit the elevator. They set off an alarm while attempting to break into the offices, forcing them to flee before they are discovered. Christine is brought to Nicholas' mansion after he feels horrible for bringing her into this mess. They talk for a little while before she calls herself a taxi and takes a shower. Christine says just before she leaves that she didn't see the individual who asked her to spill wine on him, but she was offered $400 for the privilege before. Nicholas bids her farewell and expresses gratitude for telling him. He discovers he left his credit card in a hotel lobby last night when he receives a call that wakes him up the next morning. Nicholas, bewildered as to why he has never visited a hotel, goes to get his card. He is taken to his room, which he supposedly used last night, much to his bewilderment when the staff recognizes him. When Nicholas arrives, the room is a complete mess with illegal medicines and booze bottles all over the place. There's a graphic video playing on TV, and there are candid Polaroid photos of nude ladies on the table. Nicholas is most surprised, though, that someone has opened his case and put it on the table as well. And knowing that his finances, reputation, business, and personal safety are all on the line, Nicholas rushes to tidy up the chaotic scene in the hotel room and removes any evidence of the implicating mess. He is shaken by the strangeness of the scenario, and fearing that his life is going to fall apart, he doesn't take long to get in touch with Sam, his lawyer. He gives Sam the desperate order to research Cress thoroughly and learn everything he can about the enigmatic company that appears to have gotten involved in every part of his life. Amidst the chaotic cleanup, Nicholas finds a glass-breaking gadget concealed in an envelope from the hotel room, an intriguing and menacing artifact that foreshadows future perils. After the continuous torture, Nicholas returns to his house later that evening, psychologically and physically spent and wanting nothing more than a few hours of sleep. But his house is no longer the haven it used to be. He enters and is appalled to see the entire space looking like a vandalized disaster, with furniture flipped over and graffiti scribbled all over the walls. The estate, which was previously immaculate and opulent, has undergone a total makeover and now resembles an unrecognizable battlefield. It is evident that there has been a break-in, and Nicholas no longer feels safe in his house. A loud, panic knocking on the door startles him as he goes for the phone to dial the police. It's Conrad, his brother, looking just as unkempt and afraid. Conrad, who had been strangely disconnected, and now seems alarmed and says he has been avoiding Nicholas because he doesn't trust anyone anymore, because he thinks everyone is involved in the Cress plot. The brothers, feeling uneasy in the house that has now turned into a terrifying trap, quickly depart the estate in Nicholas's automobile. Conrad admits to Cress on the trip that it has taken over his entire life. He admits that he has paid them enormous sums of money in an attempt to end the torture because he is so desperate to be out of their grasp. As Conrad recalls his own spiral into paranoia and desperation, Nicholas listens in shock. When they have a flat tire and Conrad discovers many Cress keys inside the vehicle, things get worse. This realization drives him over the brink, and he starts to believe that Nicholas is also involved in the Cress scheme. Panicking, he leaves the scene. Conrad vanishes when Nicholas tries to stop his brother, leaving Nicholas by himself and much more perplexed. Nicholas, having nowhere else to go, finally decides that calling the police is his only alternative and boards a taxi. But then, in yet another bizarre turn of events, Nicholas discovers that the cabbie is also employed by Cress when the driver fails to notice the exit. Nicholas is trapped inside the moving automobile as it veers off the road and into a river, and he is overcome with fear as the driver suddenly jumps out of it. Nicholas is about to die when the car starts to fill with water, and he remembers the glass-breaking gadget he discovered earlier at the hotel. He makes a last-ditch effort to save his own life when he smashes the car glass with the device and swims to safety, just evading death once more. Nicholas makes the decision to pay Christine a visit at her residence because he feels totally alone and has nowhere else to go. He needs answers badly, but their chat is uncomfortable, and he's still not sure how she fits into the plan. While at her house, Nicholas starts to pick up on odd things. For example, he finds a price tag burning within a lamp that looks to be ancient furniture, but the tag was just recently attached. As he examines more of her possessions, Nicholas discovers that Christine's home is not what it first appears to be. The whole place is staged, filled with false objects like ornamental books. The house is a part of the Cress game, just like everything else in his life. Nicholas becomes even more paranoid after learning this unsettling information, which solidifies his belief that Cress controls every part of his life. He starts to wonder who he may trust and how much the game has penetrated his world. Not only is the faucet broken, but the books on the shelf are also false. Christine is obviously still employed by Cress as she steps outdoors. When Nicholas confronts her, he discovers that they are being observed. The two escape through the back door as the Cress employees begin firing at them through the window. Christine discloses that Cress has utilized Nicholas's personality test to determine his passcodes and that all of his money has been moved to a foreign dummy account while they are traveling to a secure location. Nicholas discovers that she is telling the truth when he checks his balance. Christine claims that this is not conceivable, despite the fact that he is still determined to receive his money back. She has witnessed numerous instances of this happening. When Christine and Nicholas get to her real house, Christine tries to exploit her situation to her advantage by telling Nicholas that she was forced to play the strange game and that she was pressured into doing what she did. Having already been duped several times, Nicholas begins to have doubts about her account. When he suddenly becomes lightheaded, he realizes that Christine has given him a medication which confirms his suspicions. Her act of betrayal is what causes Nicholas to lose faith in her. The following day, Nicholas awakens in a horrifying state. He has been interred alive in a Mexican cemetery. He is left abandoned in a foreign nation, disoriented and terrified and without any identification or resources. After a long day of looking for assistance, Nicholas finds a way back to San Francisco by hitching a ride on a truck, defying these astronomical odds. Nicholas is horrified to learn that his mansion is for sale when he eventually makes it back there, a clue that things are getting out of hand in his life. He turns to the one person he had separated himself from, his ex-wife Elizabeth, having lost faith in everyone around him, including his friends and family. He apologizes to her in a vulnerable time, realizing how mistreated she was by him during their marriage. This reunion shows that Nicholas is starting to face his previous transgressions. Nicholas sees an odd TV commercial with Jim, the guy who performed CPR on him earlier in the movie. just as he is beginning to make sense of everything. Jim is enjoying time with his kids at an aquarium when Nicholas notices that he might be involved in the conspiracy. In a desperate attempt to learn the truth about what's truly happening, Nicholas aggressively confronts Jim and threatens him. This scenario demonstrates Nicholas' growing desperation and anxiety as he tries to take back control of his crazy existence. Fearing for his life, the man leads Nicholas to the actual office of Cress. His eyes pause when he spots Christine, but he is not startled when he recognizes a few faces from the crowd that he has seen in the previous week. He transports her to the rooftop while holding her captive. Christine finally breaks down in a panic, saying that they are still playing the CPR game with his brother Conrad, that his money are in order, and that his loved ones are ready to surprise him and congratulate him for finishing the game. But Nicholas doesn't think Christine anymore. The door flings open and he shoots Conrad, who is standing there with an open champagne bottle, as soon as he sees him. After Conrad passes away, Nicholas, shocked by what he just did, jumps from the roof. Nicholas sees his life flash before his eyes as he falls. He crashes through a glass roof, landing on a massive inflatable cushion. It appeared as though someone was waiting for him to trip and fall. In a matter of seconds, the emergency medical technicians arrive to assist him and carefully remove him. Upon regaining consciousness, Nicholas discovers himself in a ballroom surrounded by all of his loved ones, friends, and participants in his game, including Conrad. From the moment he discovered the clown until now, everything that has happened to him has actually just been a game. According to Conrad, he started the game to encourage his brother to live fully. After his disbelief wears off, Nicholas breaks down in tears, unwinds, and takes pleasure in the celebration. When he follows Christine outside to her cab after realizing that she has left the party, sometime later she tells him her true name is Claire. She declines his invitation to supper, saying instead that they should get coffee at the airport before she boards her trip to Australia for her next gaming project. That's where the film finishes. Conclusion. The game film takes Nicholas Van Orton on a psychological roller coaster, forcing him to confront his deepest fears and insecurities. What begins as a mysterious game spirals into a life-threatening experience, making him question reality. In the end, it's revealed as an elaborate scheme by his brother Conrad to help Nicholas reconnect with life and break free from his cold, isolated existence. The ordeal leaves Nicholas transformed, reminding him of the importance of human connection and embracing life's uncertainties. If so, please remember to subscribe, like, and share it in order to see more fantastic movie recaps. I appreciate you watching.